hot diggity dog. This place is magnificent. An embarrassment of riches, as they say.
Hello there, guys, gals, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Leipalarden, and today we are returning to Halo Infinite. After the fairly lackluster release of Season 2, Season 3 being pretty alright, I guess. Season 4 is getting hyped up by just about everyone. It's either the greatest thing ever, and 343 have finally got the game on track, or it's a steaming pile of brute shit. If you haven't played Halo Infinite in a while, you're probably wondering, is the game any better? How's Infection? Are the new maps any good? Is it worth playing? Well, here's my honest opinion on Season 4 Infection. My biggest issue with Infection in Infinite is that it can be a lot of fun, but it's not Infection.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
No longer do you start with the classic pump shotgun and magnum, instead you'll be relying on the bulldog and commando? Not the sidekick? I mean, to be fair, I can kind of see why 343 made this change, as the Commando shares some similarities to the scoped Magnum from earlier games, though the feeling of quickly swapping out to your pistol, because as we all know,
switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading,
is sorely missed. The Alpha and Beta Infected are a core part of the mode as well. No Sigma Infected, sorry grinders, with the Alphas having poor active camouflage that only activates when they're moving slowly or crouching, and the Betas being your stock standard zombies who live in a basement and have no jawline. Now, I'm all for giving the Alpha Infected a fighting chance against the survivors so the match can be a bit fairer, though I think the camo should deactivate after more players join the ranks of the Infected and the match becomes less about playing it sneaky to try and get those first few kills in and more about using strength in numbers to overwhelm the survivors. As a survivor, the last thing you want to worry about is dealing with a seemingly never-ending swarm of zombies running at you, getting your adrenaline going, only to have that ruined by one sneaky boy with camo that you couldn't see or even know was coming, because the camo is ridiculously effective in Infinite. The other thing that really puts me off this version of Infection is the over-reliance of equipment in the game mode. Alphas start with a shroud screen, which is more than enough to help them get the jump on the survivors, but the betas get the quantum translocator. More on that in a bit. The survivors also get threat sensors as a way to counter the Alpha's active camo. Oh, and the last man standing gets overshield, unlimited ammo, and the clock counts down from 30 seconds till the match ends. I guess this gives the last man standing a fairer chance to survive, but it is very rare for the survivors to actually win a match, and usually they have to do that by all grouping together in a corner and playing like bitch. That is really the only way to win in this mode, as the game punishes you heavily for going out on your own and leaving the group, despite incentivizing people to go on the hunt for more weapons and ammo, which you will need to do because you barely have enough ammo to start with, not even a full drum of bulldog, and this has led to most matches of Infection playing like this. Bro, it's been a minute and a half since the match started and I haven't seen a single zombie. Because it's the path of least resistance and the zombies are too powerful for anyone to want to risk trying a different strategy. They move stupidly fast, they have literal teleporters and can either turn invisible or block your vision entirely. To cap it all off, you barely have any ammo to get by, and the weapons and ammo caches that are available on the maps are either one use only or get picked up very quickly. And sometimes you just get really strange weapon choices like the skewer. Why? Why would I want to use that in Infection? I get what 343 were trying to do and making it feel more like as survivors, you're on the back foot, but they've overcomplicated something that really didn't have to be. Infection is at its best when it's simple. I'm alright with having some equipment and abilities in the mode, but there's just too much to keep track of, especially as a survivor. And now that everyone has caught on to the camping meta, which is encouraged in the map design, like this massive corridor on Behemoth, I don't see the mode being very replayable. That's just my opinion. I've seen some people really like these changes, but personally, I'm not a fan. The variety of maps for Infection is admittedly good, and I love some of the twists they've made to existing maps, such as opening up new areas, though I would like to see some more spooky community-made maps, or twists on dev-made maps that make it nighttime, or obscure visibility some more with fog, smoke, or fire. Instead of relying on the equipment to do that for the zombies, you can do it through the map design. I'm eagerly awaiting to see some of the new custom game modes that people will create using Infection as a foundation, or reimagining old favorites for Infection. Infinite. Unfortunately, unless I'm completely blind, the custom game options aren't all quite there yet. There's no option to independently change the health and shield stats for the alpha and beta infected like you could in previous games. There's no option to turn off the last Spartan standing countdown. You also can't disable the camo for the alpha infected, and the movement speed options for the alpha infected just don't work. I have no idea how 343 overlooked all of this, but it's disappointing nonetheless to see that custom games are still getting the short end of the stick. Season 4 features 2 new multiplayer maps. Kinda lackluster for a big new season. I was hoping for 3 or 4 at least, but it'll do. Excluding the remake of Plaza from Halo 5 that was made in Forge and recently added to the game. Forest is a new arena map. Not gonna lie, while I was playing this, I got sent right back to Sanctuary and the ruins of Delta Halo from Halo 2. Overall, it's a fun enough asymmetrical map that breaks up the monotony of so many maps in this game being UNSC facilities. The other map is Scar, a big team battle map that takes place in and around a banished mining facility, precariously positioned on the end of a lava lake. And all I could think of was this.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You underestimate my power!
Don't try it!
Scar is a perfectly fine BTB map, a little on the smaller side, and I think resembles Breaker closest in how it looks and plays, but it's too quartered off and the lanes for vehicles feel too narrow. It feels like so many BTB maps in Infinite don't cater all that well to vehicle players. I also can't help but feel like this map was also a bit of a missed opportunity. We're surrounded by molten lava. Wouldn't it have been cool to do something with that environmental hazard other than just have it in the surrounding skybox and not interactable? Imagine if the lava crept up into parts of the map, cutting off certain lanes. Halo's maps are desperately missing interactive elements, even if it's something little like the door you can open on high ground on Halo 3 and containment on Halo 2, or bigger stuff like the ice blocks on H2A's version of Lockout, the EMP towers on Bloodline, and the shield generator on Zenith. I think the only map to have something like that in Infinite is the loot caves on Fragmentation. I'm just spitballing here, but the 2 new maps, they're completely serviceable, but nothing really groundbreaking. Forge has also seen some updates in Season 4 with new game mode objects, new effects, damaged vehicles, Forerunner decals and accent pieces, and Spartan bodies as well that... You've got to be fucking kidding me. You can customize the colors of the dead Spartans in Forge, but not the alive ones. Literal dead people are better off than the alive ones playing this game. Christ on 3 wheels, man. On the note of cosmetics, this season's Battle Pass is fine. To each their own. I don't see anything here that I find particularly appealing, unless you enjoy looking like one of those yellow guys from Monsters Inc. Another new armor core with like 5 different pieces and will undeniably be forgotten about in T-minus 6 months' time. I just wish that 343 would commit to giving these cores some more stuff, you know? I feel bad for my Eagle Strike and Yoroi enjoyers because those guys are getting nothing. There's nothing new for the Mark V core either, despite there being plenty of cool armor from Reach that 343 have yet to bring over. Still waiting on Mariner and the pilot helmet, man, I'm just saying. I'd honestly prefer less new armor cores if it meant more options for customization for the ones that we already have. Weapon customization has also seen some much needed love with the new models available for the Sidekick, Assault Rifle, Battle Rifle, and Bulldog. We're one step closer to getting those classic weapon skins, lads. I can feel it. The low poly MA5B Halo CE Assault Rifle skin, it's coming. I know it is. It's coming one day soon. The Quantum Translocator has got me asking, did we learn nothing from Halo Reach? It's possibly the most annoying piece of equipment or ability to be added to Halo since Armor Lock in Reach, and it doesn't just baffle me, it confounds me. It amazes me how 343 thought this would be a good idea. A big part of Halo's gameplay and the skill gap is about map knowledge, positioning, and being able to foresee to the best of your abilities an encounter with enemies. That's why you've got the motion tracker, so you can see how many enemies are around you at any given time, so you can make the decision to try and contest a fight with multiple opponents or wait for a better opportunity. Halo punishes you for sauntering into situations without thinking, or not evaluating your position when challenging opponents. It's not Call of Duty where you can just walk into a room full of people and mow them all down because the TTK is stupidly fast. It requires more thought than that. The translocator is a get-out-of-jail-free card. Oh, you took a gunfight without thinking about it. Don't worry about it. Just teleport back to wherever you came from. You grabbed a power weapon on the map and are about to die because the enemy team is pushing you for it? No problemo. Just teleport back to spawn. It removes the risk of encounters and gunfights whenever you have it, and it's damn aggravating to be on the other end of it. Remember how much people hated the Promethean Knights from Halo 4 because they could just teleport away when they took too much damage? That was in a PvE setting. Imagine how much more frustrating it is in PvP. Much like how armor lock stopped the pace of the game dead in its tracks because any old idiot can turn on this invulnerability period, the translocator can just pull you out of a fight the moment you start losing. Its inclusion in 4v4 is going to be translocating my blood pressure through the roof. I will admit that it does open the door for some great custom game modes, and thankfully its uses are limited. Bro, people are already teleporting in my laggy ass servers. Like, what did we need this for? Now that brings us to the Threat Seeker, which is a very half-assed new addition to the sandbox. Instead of sticking to a surface and sending out a pulse every few seconds that shows where the enemies are, like the threat sensor, this one is more like a grenade and can bounce. Wow, that's a big deal, I guess. It will also highlight any enemies for a short amount of time if they're within line of sight. There's definitely some uses for the Threat Seeker. It is helpful, but did we really need it? It's just content for the sake of content is what I'm saying. Looking back at Halo's history of equipment, I can think of plenty of alternatives that 343 could have dug up and repurposed for use in Infinite. But the Threat Seeker? Yeah, nah, mate, it's pretty mid. The new progression system for Halo Infinite, or career rank as they're calling it, is in a similar vein to the ranking systems of old that were first seen in Halo Reach and continued on in Halo 4, 5, and the MCC. You get given a specific military rank, the grind is pretty long, similar to Reach, and you level up by just playing games. It's simple, mostly effective, adds to Infinite's replayability, and overall, it's a nice addition to the game. Well, that's the end of the video, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But really, something as straightforward as this. You play a game, you level up a bit, real lizard brain shit, you know, simple stuff. It should have been a day one feature. Whoever thought having a battle pass as the only means of progression was a good idea, mans was huffing that premium 98. I'm sorry, but there was just no excuse for the game to have launched without this. The other issue I have with the career rank is that it feels hollow. There is no reason to rank up, no incentive to play for longer if all you're gonna get is a new symbol next to your name and you get called Sergeant Major Grade 69. It doesn't mean anything. That's not how you make a compelling progression system because there are no rewards tied to it. In Halo Reach and Halo 4, you unlock stuff as you went. New armor pieces, visors, armor effects. It made the grind somewhat worth it because you could set those goals. You were working towards something. At the back of your mind, you knew that if you wanted the operator shoulder with a knife like a meal, you had to get to Brigadier or General grade, whatever it was, to unlock it. If you wanted any of the armor in Halo 4, then I'm sorry, man, but you have bad taste. But in Infinite, there is no reason to want to rank up. There is no drive, and you can only rank up by playing matchmaking. So all the hours you spend in custom games with friends or in Forge, which previously gave you XP and credits in Halo Reach and 4, nah, sorry, no fun allowed. Hell, even the MCC has challenges to earn in the customs browser to give players XP. Apparently, there's some nameplates, emblems, and maybe some armor when you get to a certain level, but no one has said what that is, and I have no idea what level you unlock them at because there is literally no way to check. The other major problem with this new progression system is that it doesn't retroactively reward the players who have stuck with the game and played it consistently. I mean, haven't these people already suffered enough? Starting from zero, all over again. It's such a big demotivator. Like, I guess a few hundred hours in game is just worth, just worth nothing, right? 343 could have looked at the time spent in game by each player and automatically assigned a rank from there, and that would have been fine. I do not understand why this wasn't done. Actually, that's a lie. I know exactly why they didn't do this, because it would have taken too much time. The last thing I want to touch on before wrapping this video up is the issue of population. I know most of my audience reside in the land of eagles and freedom, and I'd imagine that they don't have too much of an issue finding games, as most of Halo's player base are also American. Speaking from the perspective of someone living outside of the US, in the land of everything is trying to kill me and a spider ate my hand, finding matches of Infinite is impossible sometimes, and finding good matches in the customs browser is a rarity. During the afternoons and evenings when most Aussies are likely to be on, myself included, the game's population is lower than Beetlejuice's IQ.
Just hanging around.
Mind you, this is with expanded search on. Even Infection. The first day I hopped on to try this new season and I couldn't find a match of Infection. The game mode that this entire season is based around. The featured playlist. And it's empty. I tried again the next day on a Friday night US time and I couldn't find a match. I don't know if this is just me, but it's a pretty sad state of affairs. I made sure to do a population check for Infinite before and after the release of Season 4, using a few different metrics to track this, those being the Steam charts, which covers the PC player base on Steam exclusively, and the Xbox most played games list. Infinite was sitting at an average of 4,000 players on Steam, peaking at just over 5,000, and it was number 27 on the Xbox most played games list, trailing behind the likes of Farming Simulator 22 and Car Mechanic Simulator. Real riveting stuff, and since the release of Season 4, the player count on the Steam charts has gone from a peak of 5,000 players to 8,000. And since then, it's dropped down 2,000 players to about 6,000. And it's now at position 24 on the Xbox most played games list. I'll have to check back in a few weeks' time and see if these players are retained or not, but it's not good. Playlists are still empty, the customs browser is still drier than a nun's desert. You thought I was going to say something else there, didn't you? And finding matches, yep, still just a distant memory. I can't help but feel like some of this could have been avoided if Microsoft had, at the very least, included a trailer for Season 4 at this month's Xbox Game Showcase. Sure, we got a trailer at the HCS Championships, but the disparity in viewer counts is big. A few 100,000 and way more media coverage compared to tens of thousands. We can get a showcase for Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves, and their new DLC, games that are coming up to 5 years of age, if not older than that. Yet nothing for Halo's newest entry, a game that overtakes them both on the Xbox most played games list. Look, call me an entitled fan because I am, but the fuck? So, is Halo Infinite worth playing in 2023 with the inclusion of Season 4? Well, yes and no. While the game is finally starting to take shape, the phrase too little too late seems to ring true. For those who already enjoy Infinite, no doubt they'll be playing it. But is it enough to bring back the people who left the game a while ago? Is it enough to bring back those that are disenfranchised with the series? Honestly, I don't think it will be. And that's kind of what Halo Infinite needs to be doing right now, bringing back all those people that it pushed away, and I don't think Season 4 offers enough to succeed in that regard. As someone who was really looking forward to Infection as well, I just don't enjoy this version of it. I hate to end on such a sour note, but nothing short of a relaunch is looking to be enough to get Infinite back into the public eye. And it's not just the fault of 343, who have undeniably taken way too long to get the game into a content-complete state, and have been making plenty of mistakes along the way. It's also on the shoulders of Microsoft, who seem to not care about Halo anymore, as if gutting the single-player team and many other jobs at 343 wasn't enough, to the point where we can't even get a story cutscene. Even something that's just a minute long. They're now actively avoiding discussion about Halo and don't seem all that interested in supporting it. Even Phil Spencer doesn't look keen to talk about Halo anymore. See, look at him here. The moment they mention Halo, man's he just goes sad boy mode. So while Season 4 is another step in the right direction, and there are plenty of things to enjoy about it, and debatably an equal amount of things that maybe aren't as enjoyable, it's overshadowed by the last year and a half of bad press that's surrounded Halo and the mismanagement of the brand. While 343 are finally hitting their live service rollout stride, is it gonna make a difference? Who knows? But I'll tell you what I do know. For a couple of fancy new cosmetics, 2 new maps, and 1 new game mode, 43 gigabytes for an update? That's fucking outrageous.